Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sammy, and today we are taking a look at the Halo Mega Construx, or is it just Mega now? I don't know, that sounds weird. I don't like it. But either way, we are taking a look at the UNSC Forward Unto Dawn. This set came with 704 pieces, and includes the Dawn, a display stand, and one minifigure, that being Miranda Keyes. So this set sort of came as a surprise to everybody. Most people thought that most of the sets had been revealed for the fall 2022 line, and then this sort of dropped out of nowhere. We heard we were getting a roughly 700 piece set, and it ended up being this. I will say initially I was disappointed with the reveal of this set. I thought that it would be way too small and just be a overly printed little tiny brick, if that makes sense. And while it is, some might say, overly printed, it actually doesn't come off as a bad thing in person. In fact, in person, it adds to the sort of simulated scale of this. The thing looks a lot bigger than it is, and it's already bigger than I expected it to be. One problem I will note with this is you move it around, it tends to wobble like that. That can be slightly unsettling, and looking at it from the flat side view, the back does kind of tilt down a bit, but it doesn't seem to be stressing the pegs and the support beam. In fact, I've had it like this for a couple days now, and nothing's looked wrong. I will say that the box art does not do this set justice. It's taken at an angle so that it makes the ship look smaller than it is. It sort of highlights the size of these exposed studs on the front and just makes everything else look smaller in comparison, which it isn't. It looks a lot better from, well, literally any other angle. So, first, I want to bring us in close so we can get a good look at Miranda here, because she's an interesting figure. Let's just get right into it. So, Miranda here. What the hell happened? I mean, they felt the need to print our eyes more than they have for any other figure in the past, and that includes a sort of outline around the eye and painting the pupil that should already be sculpted into the head, assuming this is the same Miranda head mold we had with the 20th anniversary pack. I don't see why they needed to do that. I mean, this was, not gonna lie, this was the chance to make a good Miranda figure after the 20th anniversary pack had that whole flesh hair problem. They could have made the perfect one here after they'd learned their lesson with the Wasp Onslaught set, molding the head and the hair color and then printing on the face. That figure looks amazing, and unfortunately I don't have it on hand right now, but take my word on it, it looks beautiful. Yet this, it just feels a little bit overdone, and not in the good way either. I will say that if you put a paper bag on her head, she looks amazing. Take that in whatever way you will. The printing on her suit is amazing. I mean, I can't get a good look at it with this camera here, but the name Keyes is printed on her chest, and it looks amazing. Not to mention the lines on the forearms here, and let me just bring those out. I mean, everything looks great on this figure, except for the face. And to my knowledge, this is Halo 3 Miranda. I mean, obviously with the Dawn, but that does make it different from the 20th anniversary pack Miranda, which, to my knowledge, is based on her design in Halo 2. Personally, I didn't even know there were different designs. Then again, I don't really pay attention to Miranda at all. But this figure here, it's serviceable. It does what it needs to, and that's really all I can give it. I will be displaying her with the Forward Unto Dawn, because obviously she owned the ship, but while I was building this, Demarcation Media's review actually came out just like an hour or two before I got this thing in hand, so I ended up watching his review while I was building this, and he brought up a really good point. And I'll go ahead and get the ship back into view here, since we're going to be talking about it. So, something Demarcation Media pointed out in his review is that there was a clear opportunity for alternate nameplates. Now, I'm talking about the nameplates up here, and most likely they'd also have to get a separate one down here. I do know that the In Amberclad and the Forward Unto Dawn are two separate frigates, two separate classes. I mean, the In Amberclad is a stalwart, while this one here is a Chiron? Forgive me, I'm gonna mispronounce it. I am not an expert on lore. But the two are really similar, and you really can't deny that. And honestly, I would have gotten two if they included the alternate nameplates. I would have probably displayed Miranda with the In Amberclad, and I would have definitely displayed Johnson with the Forward Unto Dawn. Missed opportunities aside, I want to go ahead and get into this thing. Let's just move it in. Starting at the front, this Mac Cannon... Oops, sorry about that. This Mac Cannon is beautiful. Really nice, honestly, in every aspect. It was fun to build. It was interesting. It was unique. But it's definitely not for everybody. This is a kind of complex build. But, I mean, everything just comes together to form some angles that I never would have imagined how to make, but it's executed flawlessly here. Coming in, of course, we've got the print reading Forward Unto Dawn. We've got some red print up here, along with the identification number of the frigate, and this panel lining here. This panel lining is recurring through the entire set, and I have kind of mixed feelings about it, to be honest. It does feel like a bit of a cheap way to try and make this thing look bigger than it is, but honestly, I've kind of grown to accept the size of this thing, no matter how many nails it hit in the coffin of the Signature Series sets. But all throughout this model, you see this panel lining, and as I said, it really makes the thing look and feel bigger than it is, and if they're going to keep doing ships in this scale, then I am all for it. Speaking of which, I remember hearing somewhere that the continuation of this sort of mini ship line depends on how well this initial set does, and honestly, I'm rooting for it. Mega, please make more. There are so many possibilities. We could have a smaller scale Infinity, like the Signature Series set we got, but just in a scale like this that's more affordable. We can have the Spirit of Fire, we can have the Pillar of Autumn, which, researching Mega, when I started getting into the hobby, I was surprised to find out that they have never made a Pillar of Autumn, and ever since then I have been preaching for one. And I am hoping, I am praying that this small scale, that this line of ships can be the perfect way to execute it. And it's not even just human ships we can get. We can also get Covenant ships, we can also get Banished ships, we can also get the Forerunner Key ship in the middle of High Charity, the Anodyne Spirit. We could get the, what is it, the Bracken that Chief blows up in the beginning of Infinite. We could get the Truth and Reconciliation. We could get a Long Night of, I'm getting my names mixed up here. A Shadow of Intent with another release of Artas. I mean, the possibilities for this are, I'm not gonna say infinite, but they're there. I mean, from what I've been hearing in the community, people would buy the hell out of those if they were made. So I am hoping that this line continue. Okay, my own gushing aside, let's get back to the thing. The rear engines are done beautifully and actually feature effect parts for both the small and the large thrusters here, and while I'm at it, the only structural problem I can deduce from this set, with my couple of past days of handling it, are these parts right here. The connection to these black parts is just one stud in the middle, so they love to come off whenever. Not the best showcase of that, I know, but trust me, I've had that problem a couple of times now, and I feel like it's worth mentioning. We've got a really nice printed UNSC label here, more of that panel line print here. Some of these light parts are prints, some of them are actual different colored pieces, like right there, and they blend together kind of well. In person, they don't blend together as well, but when you get a good camera on them with a good light source, they definitely blend much better. While we're towards the middle here, let me just make sure you can see that. We have these windows here, this one piece here, which is a 1x2 piece with print on the sides, and it's kind of reminiscent to what was done with the Red Team Warthog, with all of the printed pieces they had there that you wouldn't expect to be printed. So I'm glad to see they're continuing that. Another odd thing, actually, while I'm up here, this piece right here, you can kind of see it there. It's the ring from the front of the Halo Infinite Banshee, that yellow ring that appears on the front of the canopy. It's actually used twice in this set. It's used here on this antenna, and it's used right here on the end of these small thrusters. I was sort of surprised when I saw that piece listed in the instructions, so good on Mega for reusing parts that honestly I expected to just be a one-off. While we're here in the middle, the last point I have are these little cannons here. They are somewhat posable. You can rotate them to a limited degree. And they can be moved up and down, but that's kind of stiff. And that's not the best look there. Looking at this set in promotional pictures, I thought it would be like the Banshee canopy piece. And I have one here. It's this thing. I expected it to be this, but upon looking a bit closer, I don't think that the bar would fit between here, so that it could rotate outwards like that. And plus, I kind of like the bulk that the two pieces on each side add to the cannons. Before I call it done, I do want to do a little bit of a size comparison, given that the size of this thing was my main concern of the set. Here it is next to the new Covenant Ghost, the set that was supposed to be my next review, but ended up getting replaced by this, the Red Team Warthog, and my previous review, the UNSC Scorpion Clash. Overall, I love this thing. I'm definitely going to have it on display whenever I get my shelves in my room, but until then I might have to pack it away, who knows. But I couldn't be happier with this set. The turnaround for me on this was great. I mean, I initially thought this would be something I'd pass on or buy just the breakdown for parts, but I am in love with this thing, and I'm hoping for the success of this micro ship line. Well, sort of micro, it's more miniature. But this is a good alternative to us not getting really any Signature Series sets anymore. I can't remember which one was the last one, if it was the Spirit Dropship or the Infinity, but they have just sort of dropped out of existence. So this is a really good alternative for us to be able to get our ships. Alright, with that all being said, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm slowly starting to get the hang of this recording thing. I just found out that my headset works with my phone, so the quality of my voice and the volume of it should be much better in this than my past reviews. Let me know if there's anything else you could think of that I could improve, and until next time, I'll see you later. So next time I wanted to take a break from the newer, currently released sets and take a look at something from the past. Originally I had another Halo 3 set in the works, but that set is still in the mail, so this will just have to do. See you next time.